Subtext and Discourse, the podcast which takes you behind the scenes of the art world with a diverse range of individuals involved in the field. I'm your host, Michael Dooney, owner and director of Berlin-based gallery for contemporary lens-based media, Jarvis Dooney. I hope everyone had a relaxing break and has settled into 2021. My guest today is co-founder of OFFICE IMPART, Anna Schwanz, who together with Johanna Neuschäffer is redefining the role of the gallery in these rapidly changing times. Regular listeners to the program, as well as those who follow developments in the art world and related market, will be well aware of the existential crisis facing art galleries today. Anna and I speak about the different challenges that galleries face and how initiatives like OFFICE IMPART are embracing digital technology to bring some much-needed innovation to this traditional field. Please remember to subscribe to Subtext and Discourse on your preferred streaming platform to keep up to date with new episodes of the show. Though without further ado, I hope you enjoy listening to my conversation with Anna Schwanz. This is the first time we've spoken in English, actually.
Right. That's true.
Okay, so I'm sitting now with Anna Schwanz in the office of OFFICE IMPART, or the physical location of OFFICE IMPART. Before we talk about this project and the space and how it all functions, maybe you can give me a little bit of backstory to your path into the art world.
Yes, my name is Anna, and I am working with Johanna Neuschäffer here for OFFICE IMPART, and actually I'm in the art world now more than 16 years, and I starting my career with EIGEN ART, Galerie EIGEN ART here also in Berlin, and I went there directly after my studies, so I studied art and art history in the northern part of Germany, where I grew up as well, and then the gallery was my first step in the art world.
Yeah, in Berlin or in Leipzig?
In Berlin, no, here in Berlin. And I worked with them really a long time. It was over 13 years, which was a great time and which was really my base for a long time. I learned everything there to what I'm now and how I see the things in the art world. Yeah, I learned a lot there.
Yeah. So how did you start it, as an intern, or how was it?
As a volunteer. As a volunteer, and then I stayed actually. So, and I was able to do everything what a gallerist can do in the gallery there. So like worked in all different fields. So like small exhibitions, big exhibitions, all the international art fairs. I worked a lot with the artists, and it was a very lively and very positive time, I would say.
Cool. Was that your plan when you went to university to do art?
Never. Yeah. Never. I never thought that I will end as a gallerist, actually.
Yeah.
And even when I started to work with the EIGEN ART, friends asked me, and then did you think that you will have a gallery by your own once? And I would always say, no, never. I really don't see me for a long time as a gallerist.
Yeah?
And it really grows.
Why you didn't see yourself as a gallerist?
Because I never thought that I will have so much fun to work self-employed, I have to say.
Okay, yeah.
This was really something what developed through the years. But now, actually, I'm very happy with it.
Oh, so you went from EIGEN ART to here? Or?
Yeah, directly, yeah.
Directly, wow. Because I thought you were also involved with the EIGEN ART lab.
Yes, of course. So, but this, I would say, was my time in EIGEN ART, yeah. But you are right. The last 3 years, Johanna and me already worked there together, and we run the EIGEN ART lab, which is the project space of the gallery. And we had already there a good time because we really worked by our own and developed the projects and found the artists we want to work with and think about the concepts of the EIGEN ART lab. For us, it was really a space to think how you can bring a gallery in the future.
Yeah.
The system of a gallery to request this.
Yeah. I looked through the back catalogue to try to remember when some of the shows were, and I think it was 2016 that they had the free Wi-Fi show.
Yes, right.
Because I remember that one, and that was, I thought, really interesting at the time, and still now, really, that it was an online exhibition or a digital exhibition, but you still had to go to the physical space to access the work.
That was true. This was really a fun exhibition, what we do together with Brandon Howell, and he had the idea to do a show which was about Wi-Fi and digital or net art pieces, but you had to come to the gallery, and the whole gallery space looked like an internet cafe. And then you had to have your own device and had to log in the intranet, and then you were able to see the pieces. But yeah, it was really fun and was really future-wising, or how to say. It was good, yeah.
And so you met Johanna during the time at EIGEN ART, or you were both working there?
We were both working there. Johanna came a little bit later to the gallery than me, but then, for the last 3 years at EIGEN ART Lab, we already worked as a team.
Yeah.
At the time when we left, we did not have really the plan to open a gallery. But after we left, we both thought, so we really built up something together, and to working as a team was really good. And when you're growing up, you know when it's you met the right person to work with. And it's not so easy to find a partner in this field where you can trust, where you can really work on a creative level and where you push each other to the next level. You know, I think this is something where you can create the energy out of the team idea. Like this is really, So we found each other and were very happy. And then we started in, I think, April 2018.
Yeah, so 3 years now, or just over 3.5, really. Oh,
no, it's
2.5.
2.5.
2.5 years.
2.5, yeah. Yeah, right. Next year we will be 3 already.
Yeah, gosh, it goes quick. Did you always have a physical space?
No, actually, we really start without a physical space. This was on purpose, I have to say, because when we started, it was really the first weeks we discussed a lot who we are, who we want to be, what we want to do, how our business should look like. And then we realized after a certain time, okay, we are gallerists. Yeah. Actually, the things what we are doing, it's the things what the gallerists are doing. And we really believe in this job. And we really think that it's a very contemporary job and a contemporary, thing what the art market is needed. You know,
definitely.
This position is something what you really need and is very current. But then we thought, okay, but we don't want to have this structure of the gallery, or we want to extend the structure of a gallery because we don't believe in this. Every gallery looks the same. When you ask people, what is a gallery? You get more or less the same definitions. You have a space, you have a certain group of artists you work with, you do exhibitions in a regular time frame, and you go to some art fairs every year, doing some artist talks or whatever. And of course, we believe that everything is necessary to run a gallery, but there's so much more. And for us, we really want to extend the idea. And when we try to describe what we are doing or what Office Impart is, like this is the name what our little business have now, we try not to define a gallery through the architectural space or the architectural space idea, because for us, it's so much more. And it's more about a space on different layers, or about what a gallerist is really doing. A gallery is something what the gallerist is doing.
Yeah.
That's why we see us as a gallery, but on a flexible and dynamic format.
Yeah, definitely. Like I opened my space in 2013, and I remember like the first 2 years of Gallery Weekend were really, really busy. And I feel like I started, like if it was a wave, I started just before the wave peaked. And then every year it was getting more and more difficult. And then you're reading in ArtNet, different galleries closing, like ones in New York and London that had been around for 20, 25 years that decided it's not working anymore, we have to close. And everybody was looking for what's a new way of doing something. So I think it's amazing the way that you've thought in a contemporary sense, how can we continue to provide the service that a gallery has, but bring it up to date, because it's been the same model since the 50s or the 60s, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think the gallery definition always changed a bit. The model I think we both know, or maybe worked for the last 20, 25 years. But yes, I think it's really important that you always, when you run a business, that you think about how the changes around you. And I think this is something what the gallery scene really missed some years.
Yeah.
The traditional gallery system, it really was really successful over years. And everybody is growing. And if you see the current surveys about the market, you really see that the whole, the Umsatz, like
the turnover.
Yeah, it really grows from the 2008 to now. So that's why I believe that it works. Or it worked. But still, there's so much things going on, and everybody feels now that it has to adapt to what's happening outside.
Yeah. So was it through the project space, the EIGEN ART realm? I suppose that gave you a lot of freedom really to experiment and to try new things.
Yes, absolutely. This was really a creative time. And as you said, we really had the freedom to try out, which was really nice. And this gives us, of course, a push to do it on our own and to really to try. And also, of course, we get more self-confident that something else could also work. As we started, I think we both loved this freedom just to do what we want. Like really to try out. I think this is also what we had in the beginning and what we really learned again now through the COVID time, in the lockdown time, really to believe in ourselves and just try. And maybe you fail, but who cares, you know? Then you have to try the next. And this is why we love to work as self-employed at the moment, we have to say.
Thinking about then how it was at the beginning, how did people react to it? Because even if you didn't have a physical space, people are like, I want to come to your gallery.
Right. Yeah, it was not easy because the first half year we have so much talks about who are we and how we are working, and you have no space. And always when you say, okay, we have no space because we are a new gallery format, you are an online gallery. We say, no, we are not an online gallery. We are a gallery and working with different layers, but not just without a space. And the decision not to have a space was more about that we want to change something. And if you took out the biggest part of the game, then you have to adapt. Then you have to think about different models and possibility to show art and to talk about art. And we needed this really to do something else and to think about different ways. And then we started really quickly with different exhibitions, but not on our own space. So we started with collaborations and did shows in different institutions together with different galleries.
Yeah, I noticed that with Pablo's birthday in New York.
Yes.
But then on the website there was A+, then Schwarz Contemporary, State of the Art. Collaboration seemed to be at the heart of this initiative, just with you and Johanna, but then even with other people that you've brought on board.
Yes, totally. Because for us, collaborations and also thinking about networks is really a foundation of our believing in how we want to work. It's one of the fundamental things of Office Impart, I have to say, because when you think about digitalization, what it really means, it does not mean that you be an online gallery because you are thinking about digitalization. For us, it's more about what really changes in the society and what does it mean for a business, or could this mean for a business or for a structure. And for us, this was really two big points. Cooperation and networks is something what changed, and we try to adapt for a gallery system. And that's why we believe in it, and we see that it works. We think it's nice. It's nice to collaborate with people, and when you bring networks together, it's so much more successful for everybody in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that we just believe in it.
Was it difficult to find other people with the same mindset?
I won't say difficult. It's you find the right people.
Yeah.
You just work with the people who have the same understanding than you have. Otherwise, it's not a cooperation or collaboration. You can't do it with everybody because for some people, they don't want to, but it's totally fine, I think. And some people who are really into it, then it's fun and then it's working. And I think it really works only with people who are really believes as well in the cooperational thing. You have to meet on the same level.
Yeah. And how is it then with artists? Because do you represent artists?
We don't want to.
In the traditional sense, maybe.
Yes. Yeah. We work with artists, but we don't use the term represented because we more believe in a partner.
Yeah, okay.
We want to be partners for our artists. But we, of course, really believe in a loyal and long-term relation with them. Because we also learned that you can meet artists and you can love their work, but you really have to meet the person.
Absolutely.
And to work with an artist is nothing what you can just, you can just click and then it works.
Yeah.
It's really a relation what you have to build up, and it needs time. And you can't just do it with time. And now after 3 years, we had a group of artists we work from the beginning more or less, or we doing projects together from time to time, and it's really a nice group and we really like them. And every artist has different needs, and with some artists we talk every day, and with some we're just doing singular projects, and which is totally fine. Every artist is different, so you not have just one system for everybody.
Yeah. I think when I very first started and I met with Helen Adkins, she was telling me a lot of it is like, maybe not a marriage, but it is very much a relationship. It's not just, they're not employees. It is a one-to-one. You both want to benefit from a relationship, but then you both have ups and downs like a normal relationship.
Absolutely.
And you also need that chemistry and affinity with one another for it to work long-term.
Yes.
And even if the work is amazing, if it's hard to work with a person,
you can't, and it makes no sense. When the energy is not on the same level, it will not work. And I also believe that the artist role changed in the last years, because you have so much more possibilities as an artist also to be visible in the art market, that it changed the role of the gallerist. Because before, the gallerist has the network and has the mailing system, but the artist does not do it. But today, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have all the social media things, and you are so much more visible. And that's why you have to also adapt this partnership between gallerists and artists. And again, we work with artists who also believe in the same ideas than we do. We try to speak with them very open, how our systems function and what we need and what they probably need and what we believe on both sides. Or like you said before, so it's given and taken. It's like in a real relationship.
I think with galleries as well, I have to look up her name, because Weltkunst now have a podcast, and Lisa Zeitz was speaking to Monika Grütters.
Yeah, the Bundeskulturminister.
She was saying the way that she sees it, because people often accuse galleries of being gatekeepers and preventing people from going in certain directions. She likened galleries to publishers. I always think of it in terms of music and think about a record label, and you know that whatever they're looking after or whatever they're interested in, if I like their style and their taste and their philosophy and their ethos, then okay, I can resonate with whatever they're putting out.
Totally, I would totally agree. As a gallery, you are also like a brand. Today you are working more and more as a brand. And of course, you build up a community around you with different things. Like you can, of course, you don't have to, but you can. And this function for the artists as well, because you are then part of it. And this, in the best way, it works for both sides.
Yeah. The artists obviously have a lot more possibilities now. And I tell artists as well, when they say, we need to get a gallery, and when I ask them why, they struggle to put it into words, because like, well, what do you want the gallery to do for you?
Yeah.
I guess the internet really is what's changed everything for artists, because they can have not just a website, but an Instagram account and a digital presence, and they can have an audience just by themselves. Like, they don't need a gallery or an agent or a representative. I guess speaking as gallerists, how then do you grapple with that? Is that still compatible?
Yes, because I think on a certain time when you're working as an artist, you need a partner. Because the art world is not easy always, and it's different on a lot of sides, and it's always good to have somebody you can talk to. Just easy to call in the morning and say, okay, I have a request from A and I have a request from B. What should I do? So like you just have how it comes from the boxing side, when you have a sparring partner, you know, like to talk about things and to decide things. That's one point I think is very important. But on the other hand, as a gallerist, you have so many roles. Of course, you are the seller, you are the consultant, but you are also the shipment guy, you are the logistic guy, you take over also the psychology part between the artist and the collector and whatever. Yeah. And as an artist, you should be an artist, and you don't take over all these roles as well. And of course, some artists are very good in it and could do it by their own, but most of them are not. Or don't want to do it because they want to concentrate and focus on their art. So that's why you have somebody who do the things for you. And with whom you can do the things together. And I think this brings you much more. And also the galleries, as you described it, the gallery could be an agent or could be the publisher or house or whatever, or just the gallery that you spread the word. And as an artist, you have your network, which is fine. But as a gallery, you had maybe a bigger one or a different one because that's your job. And that's why you're bringing the good news in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's always easier, I think, to speak about other things that you really like it and to bring it to people and to mediate it to people than you have to do it about your own stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's always a lot easier to talk about other people's work and to say, this is really nice. Whereas if it's yours, you're always a bit...
Yeah, and you have also a person in between is also good. It's more serious if you ask an expert about buying art or about collecting or about curating than to ask the artist itself, because of course he would always say my art is the best. But if you want really to build up a collection or want to engage more in the art market, you don't want to have just one. Anyway, this kind of expert role is something what is really growing in the society. And I think it comes when you see the US or the UK, the consultant part is much bigger in the art market than in Germany, but it will grow because you do nothing without an expert at the moment, right?
Yeah, and it seems in a lot of other fields as well, like this kind of consultant.
You have an how to say it, when you're doing sports, when you go jogging, you have your pro on the side, because if you would jog alone or walk alone, then it's not so effective than when you have
you need this sort of external motivator or somebody there to validate what you're doing. And definitely with the art world, it's a lot to do with your credibility. Because if somebody else says that you're good, I respect their opinion, and if they think you're good, then you must be good. Of
course, it's always the third person who's needed.
Exactly. You mentioned COVID before, and that's another restriction that's forced you to innovate. I know this year you've launched a lot of digital projects, but I had the feeling that a lot of them were already in development.
Yeah, because really from the beginning on, the digitalization is for us really the big issue at the moment. It changed everything, and it's like the industrialization. It's really our topic for society today. So we really believe in it, and we really try to work in different fields with it and try out tools. Yes, the COVID or like the lockdown in March, the first days were crazy and we really struggled. But then we thought, no, wait, because we don't have to change, really, because we really already start to think about these all things, and we start to work already in these fields. And with our dynamic format, it's about adapt to the situations. It's about this. And the good thing was that we had then the time to really to bring up the digital formats what we wanted to do and what we already worked on. And yes, one thing what we did quickly there was Instagram interview series, Quickly Asked, because it was, of course, great to see where the artists are, and we tried to ask them how they work in these days and in these months, and what are the next projects. Yeah, to be in contact with them and just to see what they are working and to meet the artists in their life. Yeah, which was fun. And then we develop it more and more and do it for every show and
cool.
Sometimes in between. It's something what we are now doing regularly. Yeah. Because for Instagram, it's a nice way to talk about the projects, what we are doing.
Yeah. And do you feel then social media is absolutely essential for galleries to be engaged or present on these platforms?
I think it always depends on the gallery and on the person who running the gallery. For us, it's essential, I would say, because for us, it's a very good possibility to be visible and to bring content to the people. If you like to work with these social media tools and with the ideas and how the things are running, then it's working well, because you can really bring in content and the ideas of the artist to the people easily, more or less. Of course, it's taking a lot of time. It always looks easy, but of course it takes a lot of time, but it really brings the things to the audience. And I really like it. It's not boring to work with these and to try out as well. For us, it was really what we're also doing is that we are doing more and more little films about single pieces, what we are showing in the shows or what we want to present. And if you would ask me a year before, I don't know if we really would do it, just really stand in front of a piece and talking 3 minutes, maybe 1.5 about what you're seeing there and just describing the piece as a gallerist in front of a piece, which is easy. Everybody could do it by their own, but it really works. It works for Instagram and it works also on different platforms and it works for our website. And it's cool because it's so direct. Most of the time, we really just describe what you are seeing and what the piece is about. Really short, 1.5 minutes. It depends on the format and on the tool where we want to use it, but that's good. But this is something what we discover, the last half a year.
So that was unexpected. Because I know a lot of other museums were walking around the shows and say, do I want to sit for an hour and watch them walk through the exhibition? Because I think part of going to a gallery is that you can go at your own pace and you can spend more time with one piece, less time with another, and you're free to roam around.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think, but the good thing is that we have to try it out. Maybe we found this out that it's not interesting to go with somebody in our filming through an exhibition. But if we not do it, if we not tried this out, nobody would know it. Yeah. So we just try and we will see.
Wow. I guess people resonated with it. They got a lot more engagement.
We get a lot of good resonance on a lot of likes on Instagram. which is fine. Yeah.
But the artists that you work with, then I guess they must be all digital natives to some extent. They're quite at home posting things online and they're living essentially on the internet.
Not
so
necessary, but most of them, yes, but not everybody. Like the artists we are working with, we always get asked how we will find you, how do you find your artist, or what is the artist group you work with. And actually, for us, it's important that they have a position to the now in a way. Like it's not about the medium they're working with, it's more about how they're positioning themselves in the now. It's from painting to net art or like sculpture. It's different. And then the second important part is, of course, that the working relation is the right one. But
so when you say the medium isn't so much of a concern, it's the message, I guess, that they're putting out there. Do you lean more towards political messages or social justice or the environment?
It also depends. When is a piece starting to get political and when not? Abstract painting could be political if the artist is somebody who wants to say something with the painting or whatever. So some of the artists and some of the positions we work with are directly political, but some of them are more in the background. But I think it's not our point. I think it's more that the positions really, we always say that they have a position to the now. They have to see themselves in a relation to the society and to what's going on around them. And it could be a painting position, but it could be also like Konstantin Dullert or Jonas Lund, who are really working in the net art field, and they are totally involved in the digital developments and bringing out really interesting pieces. They are not net art pieces, but they are also physical pieces. And that's, for us, it's really interesting how you can work with the digital ideas, but bringing it out to really art pieces, what you can hang on the wall.
Wow, okay.
Like this.
As you say, the point is that their work is relevant So you can know that this is the time that I'm living in. Yeah. And then when I see the work and I understand that this corresponds to this moment in time, no one's done this before. And if I look back, I can tie it to this period. And I know that this is important for these reasons. So it has a relevance that goes beyond the art
and
world.
how in the best way the relevance will stay also in the future, so that the art pieces, of course, then be timeless, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose a lot of the current issues that we think are new, they've been recycled.
Absolutely. I think the history repeats always. So I think good art will stay. That's what I mean with timeless. They have, of course, respondents to the time now, but in the end, the art piece is also good in 10 years and also in 100. Like the big artists, they stay forever.
Going then to some of the other projects from this year, the Berlin Views was the one that I thought, like that came just at the right time. Yeah. Was that already in the pipeline? It must have been.
Actually not. This was really a spontaneous decision. We do the Berlin Views with Tanja Wagner together.
Yeah.
And Tanja called us. It was beginning of April. It was a time when these kind of city initiatives came up in New York, and somebody did it in London. And then she asked us and said, hey, what do you think? Should we do something for Berlin? And then we were totally convinced, we need something in Berlin as well. And why not just try? And then we had 1 month because we had the aim to open to launch the website in beginning of May. And then we did it. And it was really a tough time to convince the colleagues and to build up the page, the web page. But it works, and we are very happy about it, that it still works. And we changed. So maybe I can describe it quickly. This is a gallery platform for Berlin. It calls Berlin Views. And we combine their 36 galleries. It's a very diverse group. So we have young galleries, established galleries, galleries who are working on the international levels, some working just very local. We have online platforms which are based in Berlin, so that we really try to build up the diverse scene from Berlin so that it's function as a window in the scene. And every gallery has it's a one-pager, and every gallery has a little space to describe their own work in 3 sentences, and then you
present?
Yeah, you present, sorry. Every gallery can present one artist at a time with 3 images, so 2 works mostly and 1 installation view. So for each work, you can see the details and you can see the price, and then you have the possibility to inquire for the piece to the gallery directly. You can scroll down and you can get an overview about what's happening in the art world. You can see really a lot of different artists and art pieces. It's really like an intro in the scene. And I think it's an easy access, I would say.
Yeah, I felt as well. When I went to the website, it's not as, like a lot of other online platforms can be quite convoluted, and you've got to go through all these different processes, and it feels too much like either a shop or trying to be too clever. And you think, I don't understand this. This is too frustrating. No. And I think, like you said, it gives an overview. Going through the galleries and the work that's presented, it feels like Berlin's contemporary art scene. Like it kind of encapsulates it quite nicely, I think. And if you weren't aware of it, but you had maybe a familiarity with contemporary art, you could look at it and then understand the point of view of the gallerist and the artist that they're presenting in Berlin.
Yeah, that's true. And we change the artists from time to time, so more or less every 4 or 6 weeks. And we really now we are planning already the next year how we want to do it, because we really see that it functions also really to bring people in the art world who are not so into it at the moment, because the access is very easy, the visibility is easy. It really works about the images.
Yeah.
And this is, it's nice.
Do you think as well, with a lot of the online platforms, that it's helpful for people who, for whatever reason, feel excluded from the art world? And a lot of people seem to have this apprehension about, am I allowed to go in this space? Is this okay? Do I belong here? If I definitely compare it to, say, Gallery Weekend, it's almost like you get a lot of people through the gallery because people feel like, I have permission now to go into this. I'm allowed to go in the spaces. Yes. And maybe with the online, people don't have that apprehension, or they feel like no one's going to judge me. This is okay. And I have more open access to art now.
Totally. I think this is also why Instagram works so well in the art scene.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to see art and to get a contact to the artist and to get an access. I have to say it is a little bit about this. The artwork was really exclusive for a time, and it was hard. And that's what we also get as response from young collectors or people who start to be interested in art and to collect art, that they don't know how to start, that they don't know who to ask, where they are really allowed to go. And is it okay to ask for a price? And is it okay to say, I don't understand the work? Like the easy questions, it's they are codes, I think, that we don't know or that we don't see anymore, but they are there.
Yeah.
And we try to open up this field as well, because we really believe in the young potential scene here in Berlin and working a lot in different formats with it. So like Berlin Views is something what we see in this direction as well. And we're doing a lot of tours. And for next year, we try to do a web talk series about how to collect art, how to start. How to start an art collection, like a little webinar. We think it's important for the next generation.
Yeah, definitely. And for the field, really, for the industry, because how can it sustain itself if you don't have an audience and if you don't have people coming in and engaging with the work and with the community, really?
And we really see how much the next generation or young people are really interested in art. Because they really see that the art scene is giving you so much back. If you're interested in art and if you're really going to exhibitions, talking to the artists, really try to find out what the artworks are about, to think about the content, to dive in a world that you don't know, that enrich your life so much more. What we also see is that they are really interesting because they can give something back to the society. Because when you are buying art, you are not having a luxury product, you know? You have something what is, of course, you don't need in a way.
Yeah.
And you buy something, but you really support a whole scene.
Yeah.
And you support the artists, you support the art crowd, the cultural life in the city or in the country. So you give something back. And this is, I think, what also the next generation is really interested in.
Yeah, I've spoke to other artists about that as well when they're saying, how do I find collectors? How do I get my work to be seen and everything? The work is one part of a bigger thing, and them as a person is also part of it, but then the experience that the person, whether it's a collector or a casual buyer, has with the work. And I think I didn't experience it until I went to houses of collectors and then saw how they lived with the work and how they described the pieces, where they found them, how they were introduced to the work, why it's important to them. If you were coming from the outside of the art and you just saw the piece on the wall, you wouldn't know why they bought it. You would think, I don't understand this. I don't know why it's so special. But then you see the enthusiasm of the person that purchased it. And then you see, or you hear the story behind it, and you find out the history to the work. And then you impress all this meaning onto the piece. And then you understand, okay, I get it now. This is why people really love this kind of thing.
Yeah. You will be part of a new world. When you're starting collecting art, you are part of the art world.
I guess on that topic, what we've definitely learned this year is that the art market is one of the last industries to digitalize itself and to come into the 21st century. And Art Basel got a lot of negative feedback from their online viewing rooms, and people now, rather than having art fair fatigue, they're having screen fatigue, that I don't want to look at another catalogue of 100 different items. And then the Come Closer exhibition, when I went to the opening, that was the first time I'd ever really seen anything like that. And I think that is really a different way of seeing art and experiencing it in the digital space, but not in the same way that it is an online gallery. It's almost like a platform for something to happen. Maybe you can try to explain how you came up with it.
We tried to plan this exhibition beginning of this year because I really believe as well in meta art and digital art and media-based art, because this is, of course, will develop in the next years more and more. And there are really interesting art pieces and artworks coming through this. And it's very important for us as well. But we always think about how you then really do it, because we are also not programmers and not experts in these fields, but we try to think about how we want to do it. And then we met Constant Dullard and Jonas Lund, who are also artists we work with, and they are working on a platform which we thought it's brilliant, because we are able to show art pieces there, but you have also the possibility to meet there and to speak with people and to speak with the audience. And so the exhibition calls Come Closer. It's an online exhibition of 10 international artists. It's about proximity and social distancing or in these times, and every artist is showing with one piece. Some pieces are really new. Some of the artists really developed a new piece for the show, and some we just create works already existing. And the good thing also on online shows is you can show a very international crowd easily because we have artists from Nigeria, from the US, from the UK, from Paris, from Germany as well, of course. So it's international and it was very fun. It's very interesting to see the different ideas about proximity and about social interactions in between the fields. And on top, we have the possibility that the audience is visible and can meet there. And actually, if you would ask me before, I would not believe that it's such a big change, that it's such a big difference to a normal online platform. But in the moment when you recognize that you are not alone there, you already have the feeling you are in a space. You experience this space really in a different way. And this was a very, very positive experience for us. And especially the opening was really fun because every visitor is visualized about a little dot. It's a colored dot. And at the opening, I don't know, there were maybe 50 people at one time. And you have so much little dots going through the website. It was really like a little dot party, which was really fun. And then you have the possibility also to speak. And when the visitors come close to each other, so that the little dots are next to each other, then the microphones goes on and then you can speak. And so you can meet in a plant or on purpose. And this is cool because as in a normal exhibition, you can run into somebody and can talk about how do you like the piece and whatever. And so that's great.
Yeah, that was kind of mind-blowing seeing that. And then when you're getting close to other people, then you can overhear what they're saying.
Yes.
So it was like being in a physical space. And then if you saw names of people that you knew, you're like, oh, that person's here. I wonder have they seen me that I'm here as well? And things like that.
So it's really cool. And then we have also the possibility to really doing talks there because when you are an administrator of the page, you are visible through a bigger dot with a camera inside. So you are visible and then what you are talking or speaking, then the whole website is hearing it.
Ah, okay.
And that's why for the next months we are planning to talk about what is the difference between an online exhibition and an offline exhibition. So because we also feel the preparation that some things are different. It's in the end, of course, an exhibition is an exhibition, but still online you have to rethink some structures.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was so unexpected. I think that's probably what was so special about it, that when you went in there, somehow you were entering a space at the same time as other people and you could see them, digitally see them, and then hear them as well in the space. Yeah. And I think even just the sensory response to being in that environment, I think was somehow in between a physical space and a digital space because you had elements of being in a physical room or in a space with other people.
Exactly. Happy that it works like that you see it as well. So, and if the people are looking for the show, you can find it just easily on our website, like in Office Impart, www.officeimpart.com, and then you see a dot where you can find the online show, which is the access to it.
And how long does the show go for?
Till end of February, for sure.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's online.
We leave it a little bit online,
Yeah, nice. One other thing I wanted to ask you about is the Good to Talk platform that happened. I think I missed last year, but I definitely went to the one in 2017. I met a lot of people there and it was a great symposium that lasted for 24 hours.
46 actually.
Oh, it was 46 hours. Oh, yeah, because it was over the 2 days, wasn't it? That's right. Yeah. It started on Friday night, and then continued till Sunday afternoon. Yeah,
this was really long. So, Good to Talk is also like a network event, what we founded with 4 other gallerists in 2017. We founded it with Tanja Wagner together as well, Daniel Mazzona, Thomas Fischer, and Sebastian Klemm, all gallerists here from Berlin, because we thought that there's another format needed to talk about art on a very interdisciplinary level, that we open up the art bubble a bit and to bring up topics and to bring topics together that people are not talking about the same things all the time.
Yeah, and I think that's why it was really nice, because you did have a good mix of, sometimes it was a performance or it was just a talk, a presentation. There was also panel discussions. So from one point of view, it wasn't too academic, but then it wasn't just for artists and it wasn't too broad. For me, I think it was a platform where you could access different parts of the art world in one location in a concentrated period of time.
Right, that's true. And we were crazy because the first Good to Talk really runs about 46 hours non-stop, which works well and which was fun. But of course, it was heavy. It was such a blockbuster that we, for the second edition, we thought maybe it's enough we do it 24 hours, which was also challenging, but this was fine. And actually, the next Good to Talk will be more or less the same amount of hours.
Oh, 24, just one day,
maybe. At the moment, we start to think about how we will do Good to Talk 2021, because it's a festival what we will do every 2 years. At the moment, we are thinking about a more hybrid format that we, of course, combine analog and digital formats and projects.
Yeah. So I guess some of the elements from this year that you've discovered or learnt or you've tried and know, yes, this works, this doesn't work. These are things we can
and also that we adapted more to the time. The first 2 editions were always in the Berghain canteen, so on one fixed place. And we thought, we really want to try how it could work when you go to different spaces.
Okay.
So that the people are moving or could move or just follow it online. So that we try to combine these both ideas. Let's see. It's in the process now.
Wow, it's exciting. So that's for 2021.
2021, yeah.
Seeing what state the world is in.
Right. Or otherwise, we have to do it just digitally.
Yeah. Were there any other projects that you have coming up that you wanted to mention? Yeah,
we are working on some collaborations already for next year. So we will cooperate with Dark Taxa. This is a project from artists together who are working on post-photography ideas. We will show them here in our office. And then we are doing a cooperation with a gallerist in Hamburg who opens a very nice space in the Hafen City.
Yeah.
I don't know, is it the English word for Hafen City? Because I think this is in
Harbour City.
Harbour City, I don't know. The current thing what we are working on is really a survey about the digitalization in the art market. Hopefully the first part will come out maybe in February. So this is what we are.
It's an active survey now or?
Not now, but soon.
Okay.
No, but this is really what we believe in, that we also really interested in these structures and analyzes what we are working in.
Yeah, I think it's incredible what you've both managed to create and all the energy and everything you've put behind it. It's really amazing.
Yeah, that's what we believe in. That's what I mean in the beginning. We have the possibility to work on so much different fields, and a gallery could work on so much different fields in a gallerist, and that's what we like.
Yeah.
And I think we think this is important to try out the different fields. And then to bring everything in a way again together, because it's all about art and about the artists. And when you have these different formats and different ideas, it brings you to different levels. And this is what we like.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks a lot, Anna. It was really good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed listening to my conversation with Anna Schwanz. There was one aspect of Office Impart that we forgot to mention, and that's the Weeker, a weekly newsletter with exhibition tips for Berlin and elsewhere. It usually arrives Monday evening, Central European time, and in addition to exhibitions, also includes recommended reading, articles, podcasts, and other art-related content. Just go to their website, officeimpart.com, and you'll see the link on the top right where you can sign up. As always, I've included links to each of the items that we spoke about, as well as related social media in the show notes to this episode. However, if you have any questions, comments, or would like to get in touch regarding this or previous episodes, please feel free to reach out. That's all for today. Please subscribe to catch future iterations of the show. Thanks once again for tuning in. My name's Michael Dooney, and you've been listening to Subtext and Discourse.